For more insight into this, let's talk to independent current affairs commentator Mr. Einar Tangen in Beijing. Mr. Tangen, in your view, what's stoking this anti-Asian sentiment around the world, especially in some Western countries? Do you think politicians and some other elements there are trying to throw the blame onto a particular group of people?
Oh, absolutely, Bandung. I mean, this is just pure politics at its worst. What you have is governments who were unprepared or wrong-footed when COVID came in, despite all the warnings, and now they're trying to say that this is somehow China's fault for their own incompetence. But it's also being fanned by this narrative that they're putting out, which is repeated almost on a daily basis in the international press. So I would caution my fellow members of the press to be a little bit more responsible. It's fine to sell newspapers, but in the end, you're affecting lives.
So, you've mentioned one potential danger for such disinformation campaigns, but what about some other major dangers posed by such an irresponsible blame game?
Well, I mean, people are being hurt. I mean, they're being attacked. The number of cases, as you heard earlier, in the U.S., for example, the number of hate crimes against Asians had declined from 3% of all those reported to less than half of that amount over a 10-year period. Now, it suddenly sprung up to 100 a day. It had been one hate crime per year per 100,000 Asians versus 17 against Jews, and now it's just skyrocketing on a daily basis. But there will be other repercussions politically. Remember, Donald Trump won the three states that put him ahead. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin were won by less than 80,000 votes. Asian voters in those states comprise 450,000 votes. Last time, they were pretty much evenly split. It is very doubtful that he's going to get those votes again, given this politically charged climate in which he seems to be encouraging this kind of scapegoatism, which is resulting in real harm and tragedy.
So globally speaking, are you worried about the impact of this anti-Asian sentiment to last in a post-COVID-19 world and may even getting worse?
Yes, I do have that fear. I think in the cold light of day, when people start assessing their government's response to COVID, and I mean, we have to get past that point. We're in the midst of it now. I think people will be, hopefully, look at the rational side of this, and they will judge their governments not based on their scapegoatism or however they want to blame others, but on the actual actions, the number of deaths, the number of people infected, what was actually done in what kind of timeline. Now, I know politicians who are responsible will try to, obscure that, but, hopefully, rational thought will prevail. Unfortunately, it is just too easy during a time of fear and epidemic to start blaming the other, this kind of retreat towards tribalism, a retreat away from a global order, away from the ability to handle this on the basis that it's needed, and that is on the world basis, and instead retreat and blame others.
Thank you very much. Independent current affairs commentator Mr. Einar Tangen in Beijing.